good evening, and welcome to Bonus Action Heroes tonight. As a little bit of a change, and by request from the lovely guys from the group, let me turn this stuff. We are playing Vampire the Masquerade, 5th edition. The game we are playing is set in 2022 in the London borough of Croydon. And Croydon, as many may or may not know, is a relatively large town, a London borough, probably 400,000 people. And in the history of London, 2012, there was something known in the vampire world as the Second Inquisition. A huge unified effort by the mortals to hunt down and destroy any kindred within London. And this was devastating for those that lived there. Many of the vampires we will meet tonight will know many that were killed during that terrible time. But oddly, Croydon, formerly a part of London, endured it, endured all of it. Anyone who went there for sanctuary seemed to survive the onslaught, all thanks to a self-proclaimed prince known as Z-Cross, a Toreador, who always seems to know when the hunter attacks are going to happen. Not often long before they happen, but always seems to know and manages to move everyone on. And so deaths in Croydon are very rare for kindred, although a city that size really can only support probably 4 or 5 vampires, and the numbers are getting close to 20. So the strain on resources is high, and the rest of London seems to look on with suspicion as to how Croydon is enduring. Is it some kind of enchantment? Is it double dealing? Are they feeding information to the Inquisition themselves? So it could be something, could be nothing. So we will pick up tonight. We'll just do a quick round table of everyone that's playing, starting with Tom. Just tell us a little bit about your character and who he is.
My character's a Ravnos called Barnabas, who was sired in the late 19th century, travelled around Europe a little before he was made, and he was an artist going from city to city following the zeitgeist, and now he uses that as a cover to deal in information while he's moving around.
Thank you. Veronica.
I'm going to be playing Madame, Madame. Who is a vampire who was sired at the beginning of the 20th century. She is part of Clan Toreador, and she rents and runs a nightclub in Croydon called the Snake Pit.
Sounds classy. Jim.
I'm playing a Nosferatu by the name of Gerard. Is an old noble from ancient Paris, turned a little bit before the French Revolution, and all that jazz. About 300 years old, currently living in Croydon in a sewer or an abandoned tube station, and quite fond of the drugs nowadays.
Thanks very much, Jim. And last but not least, Hazel.
So I am playing Hero, who was turned around the mid-1800s in Japan. One of the kind of last kind of trainee samurais. Don't think he actually managed to be a samurai. Has spent the majority of his life in Japan and Asia, but then came over to the UK in the 80s because he's really into the music scene, and he has since become a performer and kind of found his niche in life, and he is loving it. And everyone. He's a big fan of the people, and they're a big fan of him.
Nice. So thank you. So, I'm Matt. I will be the storyteller this evening, but I think unlike D&D, this is a collaborative story. So what has happened, and we will see what all of your characters do with it. I don't know where this is going to go. I've tried to prepare for every eventuality, and I'm sure I've prepared for none of the ones that will come up tonight. So I look forward to seeing how you do. So it is the 31st of October, 2022. And as is always the way in the UK, the nights are starting to get longer. The clocks have gone back. It's dark by 5 p.m. The night grows longer and longer and will continue to grow until the new year. For vampires, this is prime time. There is more of the night than there is of the day, so they're free to do whatever they need, carry out business, and not fear the sun. So, you awake, all of you, a little after 5. The sun has set. You find yourselves in whatever place you choose to rest. And first of all, I need you all to roll a rouse check, please, to awake, to see if you awake hungry. Hunger for blood is a strange mix of appetite, lust, and addiction. Let's see. Okay, just on your couch sheet, it will say rouse. Okay. Barnabas, you awake. You've chosen a crypt in a graveyard as a nice temporary stopping place. You've used it before, but you're careful as a Ravnos never to stay in the same place twice. You fed last night, and thankfully you wake. The hunger is there, but it's not strong. And you make your way out. Your hunger remains at 1. Hero. It was a long night last night. There was a gig. You played a gig. You got several encores. You played on until easily 2-3 in the morning, and then there was a backstage party, and you know things got probably slightly exciting. You exerted yourself, and now you find your hunger increased. The beast is there at the back of your mind, gnawing, letting you know that it wants blood, it wants more. But for now, you keep it in check. Madame, the same for you. You awake in your apartment above the snake pit. Thankfully, you managed to feed last night from some of your herd. Sycophants may be a better word, but your hunger doesn't increase. And last but not least, Gerard. The rats seem to be avoiding you. Last night, you didn't get as many as you would like, so unfortunately you awake with that gnawing, empty feeling, and that, for you, withdrawal feeling. You need blood, your hunger increases. So please add 1. So you all awake in whatever place you are. And Madame, first of all, you will hear a knock at the door. Madame, it's Stu. You've had a text.
I will take my time putting on a robe and going to the door.
There's been an Elysium called by the Prince, Madame. Seems there's been some sort of crime, and everyone is summoned. We've got visitors from another domain. Could you get word around? Have you got numbers for everyone?
Some. Tonight?
Yeah, I think 7. We've got about an hour and a half.
Very good.
Okay, I'll leave you to it, Madame. All right. The club's not due to open till 9 tonight, I think. So, any orders before we?
Just another night.
Yeah. All right. I didn't know if there's something going on. I need to up the security. Should we expect trouble?
Well, we won't know anything till later, so for now, no.
All right. Well, I've got my phone on me. I've charged yours. And he hands over. It's a Nokia. It's a very basic phone. You just struggle with these smartphones. They're quite complicated. So this is just easier. Yeah, it's fully charged. Should last a couple of days. He doesn't say that, obviously.
Okay, based on what you know about me,
Mm-hmm.
I just have like a little black book somewhere, maybe. So maybe actually I take that black book with whatever numbers I have and say, Stu, you pass the message on. I'm going to get dressed.
Of course, Madame. And he will leave with your phone again and start dialing. And the first person he will dial will be Hero. He probably may still be in the building somewhere. I don't know. So you'll just hear the phone start to ring.
Reach over, try and find it. Still trying to find it.
It's ringing.
Oh,
it's
got to be
ringing.
here somewhere.
It's ringing.
Pause and get to it just in time.
It's probably under a groupie somewhere.
Probably.
You'll hear that. You'll recognise Stu. He is Madame's one of her bouncers. He is a mortal, but he knows a little bit. She clearly keeps him in line. Hero, Madame has asked me to give you a call this evening. I don't know what you kindred say. There has been an Elysium called by the Prince. Everyone within the domain is expected to attend at 7 o'clock. Just for your information, it is 5:37 now. I was asked to pass the message on with all respect, of course.
Should we playing at the Rattler in like... Oh, okay. Thanks for letting me know, Stu.
It's at the Blue Orchid, if you know it. It's the old dance hall. It's kind of an art installation now. He's rather fond of it. I can send you the address if you don't know it.
I'm sure I can find someone else who can point me in the way. Don't worry about it. Thanks, mate.
No worries. And next he will call Gerard. You probably also have a very old Nokia that you plug in elsewhere whenever you get a chance, because your station probably isn't powered consistently, but you will hear it ringing and also making that battery noise that suggests it hasn't been charged for a while, because you always forget.
Okay. I'll dig it out and answer the phone somewhat reluctantly.
Gerard, Stu, Snake Pit.
What?
There's an Elysium being called. Madame has asked me to call everyone. You're a knowledgeable fella. Do you know if anyone else is in the area?
Fuck you. I'll just hang up the phone. And then from that, I guess I presumably would know Barnabas is in town, maybe?
I think you would. Yeah, I hope
Oh,
you would.
cool.
Otherwise, he's not coming.
I was, well, I probably would have, once I woke up, I'd have gone to see my friend, so that's why I'm in town, so I'd head on to try and find Gerard.
Getting in my little abandoned subway home. You know where it is.
So yeah, you would arrive probably shortly after 6. It is, I mean, to be blunt, I'll show you what it looks like. He really probably needs a bit of help, or a cleaner, or just to find somewhere else. The place looks like serial killer's basement. There's animal bones everywhere.
Just imagine a lot more drapery.
You need to cover, more drapes to cover everything up. But you're used to it. You see through it to a degree. But you know the way in.
Good evening, my friend.
Hello, Barnabas.
You know, you really could do something about the smell.
It smells fine. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, before I forget again, phone call, something about Elysium at the Snake Pit.
Tonight?
Yes, shortly, I think.
Your phone will go again, and it will say Snake Pit on it again.
So we'll suppose we can take our leave there soon.
And it just rings out until it stops ringing, and then you get a text that just says "fuck you too." It's at the Blue Orchid stew.
Oh, now I'm just confused. We'll figure it out some other fucking time.
Okay.
Rogue then.
So the invitation is out. What do you all want to do?
Chevy Gerard around and drag his ass to the Blue Orchid.
Barnabas, whilst I have you here, would you like some drugs?
I don't touch the stuff, Gerard, and you shouldn't either. Filthy habit.
Too bad.
I thought you'd quit that 100 years ago anyway.
Only for a little bit. But drugs can't quit old Gerard.
How have you been anyway, my old friend?
You know, fine.
Keeping out of trouble?
I live in an abandoned sub-tube station. There's not a lot of trouble I can get into anymore.
I don't know, you'll find a way, I'm sure. Anyway, had we better get our asses in gear and get there, otherwise there will be that trouble.
I suppose. And he'll reach down into like a small bit of like kind of dirty little mist that's floating around, like he's somehow always got a fog machine on the go, even though he doesn't. And he'll just pick up a little costumed rat out of nowhere, and he'll be like, "You know the drill now. Look after the haven until I get back there." And then he'll put the rat down and give it a little pet, and then shoo it off into the. Go on, you have people to look after.
I just put my hand automatically goes up to the raven sat on my shoulder and calms it down. It gets twitchy when he starts seeing Javert. Calm down, Brannon. One day.
Not you, Vad or Andre, but the others. Fair game. Bastard's been hiding from me recently.
I thought you looked a bit peckish. Shall I have Brannon go and find one?
We should probably get to the first. I'll probably find something there.
Very well.
Okay, we switch back to the snake pit. The staff are in, cleaning, mopping the floor. The ground floor of the club has got a particularly sticky floor. Never really gets to the point where it doesn't stick. The VIP level, if you want that kind of experience. But yeah, you finish getting ready. Hero probably staggers out of one of the VIP rooms. What would you like to do?
I will ask Stu. Did you call everyone?
Madame, yes, I did, but your ugly friend, I don't know what else to call him, just told me to fuck off, and I didn't actually tell him where it was. So I just want to say, I did try and ring him back. He didn't answer. I've texted him. If he doesn't turn up, please don't blame me for that. I just want to be clear. I did everything he told me. He's not
You
got
did.
the best of manners, has he?
I will have a word with him. But you don't need to call him my ugly friend, you know his name. Call him by it.
All right, sorry, Madame. Girard. He's just...
If he turns up here, you know where to send him.
Yeah, he might well. Okay, yeah, you've got an hour to get over there, so if you need anything else, I'll have my phone with me. I'm sure the club will be fine without you. We've got a couple of hours to get it cleaned up. Yeah.
You know what to do.
Yeah. Do you want any keeping back? Any particular, drunks, druggies?
Well, no, not if he was a dick to you. And
Okay.
Let's see what happens tonight. Don't often have an Elysium.
Oh, it's a bit weird. You think something's up?
I will let you know if it's your business.
it's
Right now,
probably
your
not.
business is opening this club, so
Yes, none of my business, madame. Sorry. Yeah, I'll get on with it. I'll leave you to it. You're the Japanese fellas over there.
I'll sweep him up with the rest of the rubbish.
Well, won't he need to?
Yeah.
I'll go tell him. And he wants over to you. You've got an hour, hero. Blue Orchid, it's about 20 minutes drive, probably, from here.
You said on the phone, I've got it. And with that, he'll hug Stu, like taking a full, like hug, pat him on the back. Like, don't worry, mate, I've got it. Be grand. It'd be a great night.
Yeah, you feel him go a little bit tense, a little bit nervous when you hug him, but
Oh, I
he's
will
quite
make
a
sure to
big fellow.
breathe on his neck.
yeah, he will definitely tense up for a moment, waiting for you to bite him. But
Step
do
back,
you?
cup his face. Like, don't worry about it. I'll be out in a moment, and I'll go back into the VIP room that I was just in, because if I have been with a groupie, which I will have been, they are most likely one of my herd. Would I be able to feed before setting off? Because being that close to Stu's neck has just made me even more hungry.
You are feeling hungry. You can feel the beast in the back of your mind, letting you know that it wants to feed. So yeah, you can go and find one of your groupies and try and feed on them. Not sure if you fed on them last night or not, but yeah, you go in. There's just one. There's one guy and one girl, sort of passed out, clearly very hungover, very drunk, probably still drunk.
Can I smell them to see which one's got like the highest level of alcohol?
Okay.
I imagine it's coming through in their sweat. So
yeah, it's definitely, well, it's probably more about how much alcohol for their size, but the girl smells particularly like alcohol. Yeah, they both do, but she seems the most intoxicated.
I'll wake the guy up.
What? Yeah. And he sort of looks really dazed. Oh, hey, hero. Yeah. Oh man, that was a party, wasn't it? What time is it? Is it morning? Oh shit, it's night. Did we go through the whole day?
Pretty much, mate. Pretty much. It was absolutely amazing. Such a good night.
I don't really remember much of it, but yeah. Oh, sorry. I hope it's all right. Me crashing here. I'll get out of your way, of course.
No,
When's
mate,
your next gig?
Oh well, it's supposed to be tonight, but I think it's being pushed back. But I'll see you around anyway. But you staying here, favour for a favour. Now, what are the mechanics of being able to consensually feed on members of my herd?
You can just ask. We'll just go for it.
So the favour for a favour. I don't generally do this, but I was wondering if there's any chance, if you're willing, just make sure I get through the night. If you know what I mean.
Oh, hey, man, I know you love you've got your kinks and all that, and I'm fine with them. If whatever floats your boat, as long as you don't do any, proper damage, that's fine. That's fine.
I'd never hurt you like that.
Well, I hope not. I want to see all your gigs.
And then if he is therefore consenting, I'll just nip of the wrist. Don't want to do any damage. I will be delicate and careful. I'll even kiss it better afterwards.
Okay. How much are you taking?
I just want to get to a reasonable standard. I don't want to take a large amount, so take the edge off.
So you're currently on 2. The only way to get to 0 is literally to kill someone, unfortunately.
Oh no, I'll just go down to 1 then.
In this game. I'm not going to make you do a check just yet, but
Okay.
yeah, you drink, and it is like the most exquisite taste and sensation. But he also seems to be quite like sort of his eyes roll back in his head. It's clearly very pleasurable for this person as well. You take a little blood to reduce your hunger by 1, and then you lick the wound, and you just see the skin heal over, and there is no evidence that you ever broke the skin. He just kind of still drunk, just sits down on the floor, little lightheaded.
I'll hold him for a bit, just make sure that he's able to hold himself up. You know, a little bit of aftercare goes a long way. And when I think he's kind of holding himself together, a quick kiss on the forehead, and I'm out.
Okay, you just see him sort of flop back on the sofa that he was on, and just go back to sleep, from what you can tell.
As I'm heading out, I'll grab Stu and just be like, "There's 2 in suite 4. Can you just make sure that they get home safe, okay?"
Yeah, of course. I'll call him an Uber. No problem.
Thanks, mate.
No
And I
worries.
will
When you
head
say
out.
take care of them, they're okay, I assume.
They're okay. She's a bit drunk, so you know she might just need a bit of extra care, but shouldn't be causing any problems.
Okay. No worries.
I'll slip 20 quid into his pocket.
No need for that, sir, but I appreciate it. I'll take care
And then I'll
of it.
head out to my Nissan Supra.
Okay. Yep. Describe it for us. I'm curious.
Oh God, no! So it's like still at the boxy stage of a Nissan Supra. It's not great. It's
Yep.
obviously got some dinks. It's a 2-tone kind of gradient from blue to yellow. So it starts off yellow, the further back the car it gets blue. It's obviously a custom paint job. It's not a good paint job. But Hero loves it with every ounce of his being.
Nice. It's good to have hobbies, even if you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do see Hero, Madame, sort of walk down the stairs from the VIP area, talk to Stu, stick something in his pocket, and then head out back to where you know his car is.
We'll wave to get his attention. Hero!
Madame, look at you.
Thank
Aren't you
you.
a sight for sore eyes?
So it appears you had a good night. I didn't even know you were still here.
When do I not have a good night?
Fair point.
You should join me one of these times.
I have to make my way round everyone, but you know, I'll pop in. Are you driving?
Yes. Could I offer you a lift?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
The honour is all mine. Come on.
Yeah, I'll follow him out.
Okay, yeah, you see Hero's car is a bit, for your taste, probably a bit garish, a little bit crude, but you can kind of see what he's trying to achieve. It's not quite there yet.
I walk up to the car and I go, see what you're trying to go for, but you should have gone for an Honda.
Maybe that will be my my upgrade, and I'll open the door for her, and I'll help her into the badly fitted bucket seats, and I will mind her head as she gets in as well.
You are so sweet.
Wow. Centuries of practice.
Okay, you headed straight there.
Yeah, I don't care enough about how I look to change my clothes at this point, so.
Fair enough. Yeah, you're not like a mortal. You don't really smell. You don't really get a smell.
But I have spent the night with mortals, so.
Yeah, so there is definitely an atmosphere of alcohol and a little bit of drugs probably on your clothes and all sorts of things. But yeah, you drive across without any incidents. We'll flick back to Gerard and Barnabas. How are you travelling? On foot? Underground?
Wombling 3. That is nearby.
Sure. Well, I imagine we're underground with Gerard will be comfier.
Okay, yeah, Gerard, you do know a route. You can kind of get most of the way there without being seen. A bit of help from Barnabas, you can probably avoid any mortal eyes. With the clever use of your abilities, probably even more so. But yeah, you pop out of a sewer grate, and effectively, right in front of you, you see this huge. It looks absolutely dilapidated from outside. It was clearly once a beautiful dance hall, and at some point in the past, it's been turned into a nightclub, and then that nightclub has been shut, and it's just faded blue. You can see some of the vintage writing that's been painted over, and then that started to peel off. It doesn't look very nice, but you do see a very small open door and a single female figure stood there. She is probably about 5'4". She's not particularly big, but she's got short bobbed brown hair, rather surreptitiously. She's wearing sunglasses at night. She's just stood by the gate.
Nice.
She's wearing a white blouse, bare arms, just very light trousers. Probably to a mortal, she looks like she's not really dressed for the weather. It's cold, it's damp. It's not the night for it, but she's stood waiting.
After you, Barnabas.
Walk up to her. Good evening, dear heart. I hear there's a meeting tonight.
And you are?
Barnabas. I'm here with Gerard.
Resident, non-resident?
Occasional resident.
Non-resident, okay. And you, Gerard, you're a resident, aren't you? Just keep it. Just be polite. From what I gather, it's an important guest, quite key to the security of Croydon. I know you're a bit blunt sometimes, and I admire that, but don't piss off the guest. In you go.
Your servant.
And you wander through, and yeah, indeed, the outside is ugly. It's just so run down, so tatty. And as you make your way in, it could not be more different. There is arched ceilings. You can see some of the arched ceilings from the old dance hall, which have been meticulously restored and made to look absolutely beautiful. And then each part of the wall is just covered with these huge works of art, absolutely ginormous. Must have taken hundreds, maybe thousands of hours to produce. There's a handful of other kindred in here, not many. They're just kind of wandering through, looking at the art. And as you wander in, Madame and Hero also pull up outside. It is double yellows, but it's up to you whether you just park there or not.
I care about this car, so what I will do is I will escort Madame out of the car, and then I will tell her I'll just go to park. I'll see you inside in a moment.
All right. Thanks for the ride.
And then I'll go park, and I'll do an awkward little jog around the corner when I finally get back to it.
I like that you're so law-abiding. Don't want to get a ticket.
It's the car. I only care about the car. If that car gets towed, I'm screwed.
Okay, likewise, Madame, and as you wander in, you actually see Gerard. He keeps doing Nosferatu things. I don't know if it's intentional. I assume it is.
I didn't notice.
He's like the smear stories, like disappearing into the dark.
I was going to go and get my bottle of rum, but I've been called back.
Oh, okay, that's fine. It's fine. you would see Madame walk in. You spot Gerard straight away, and his friend Barnabas, who you might have seen in the club a couple of times. He looks a little bit like Elton John. So you have once or twice put him up in the VIP box, and it's spread a rumor that Elton John was in the club, and you've got quite busy nights out of it. He's not. He doesn't. At close inspection, he clearly doesn't. But it's great.
I will walk over to them.
Yep.
Oh, Barnabas, isn't it?
Your servant, madame.
I didn't know you were in town. Nice
I'll
to see you.
To my friend, it's a pleasure to see you too. And isn't this a gem?
It is indeed. Gerard,
Hello, madame.
you owe Stu an apology.
I don't know who Stu is.
Yes, you do, and I'm just going to trust that you are going to apologise when you see him. If we look around, are there any other kindred that we recognise?
You wander through this grand corridor with these huge works of art. They are absolutely enchanting, especially as a Toreador. Some of them are just so compelling, you just have to stop and take them in for a moment. But yeah, as you turn the corner at the bottom, Hero would probably just jog in behind, just catching up. You'll see this large room. It's covered in street art, but it's quite beautifully and tastefully done with a lot of skill, whoever has done it. And you will see probably 15 kindred stood around. You would recognize the prince, Z. So Z is probably it looks probably 18, 19 in mortal years, but he's actually, much older, quite considerably older, in fact. Z probably looks 18, 19, blonde hair, dark at the roots, quite androgynous looking. You're not really sure if they're male or female. In fact, you would know that Z kind of prefers to be referred to as non-binary. Doesn't really now they're a kindred. It's not as important as it was perhaps in former life. You would also see stood next to her a lady in a very sharp blue suit wearing a tie. She is long blonde hair that goes well past her shoulders, very, very beautifully groomed. Like, her hair is absolutely perfect. She's got a very kind of condescending stare, and he's just stood with her arms folded, sort of glaring at everyone. You would also see another fella that you would recognize. You would also see this guy. He looks kind of strange. He probably looks about 40. He's wearing sunglasses and has a white cane, white shirt, jeans, and looks very, very basically dressed. Doesn't seem to be reacting visually. It appears that he is blind. Next to him, you just see this fabulously dressed creature, probably about 6'2", full drag makeup, just absolutely stunning dress, like multicolored hair up in a bun, and they will see you coming, madame, and just kind of like very graceful walk straight up to you, and she will look you up and down, like very slowly, like 2 or 3 times.
Scrub up well, don't we? You're looking particularly dusted this evening, madame, may I say?
Thanks, Mimi. You look stunning, as always.
Thank you, darling. Gerard, though, he's looking a bit dusty, isn't he?
Gerard,
You need a bit of polish, darling. You need a bit of polish. It's like talking to a wall. There's some news. There's so much news. We've got visitors here. They're in the next room. The shit has hit the fan. There's no other way of saying it. Absolutely, like, it's hit the fan. Like, I think there's some sort of deal going on with another prince, and Z's fucked it up. There's no other way of saying it. Zia's completely fucked it up. Like, I think they've delivered their part of the deal, and we haven't delivered our part of the deal. And Ava told her not to sign a blood contract, but she only bloody signed a blood contract. Daft cow. Zia's screwed. There's no other way of saying it. Z
Do you
is
know who it
screwed.
is?
Well,
The other prince.
Yeah, I think it's Warwickshire. I think it's a Tremere. They've done some sort of blood contract. I mean, I would not sign one of those if it was my life depended on it.
Yeah, luckily your life don't depend on it because you're not in the politics. We don't know the
Well,
details.
I should probably announce you, but yeah, I think it's not gonna be comfortable tonight. I'm so sorry, darling. You've dressed up and you're probably going to get a bollocking. And I don't even think it was your fault. I've had 5 bollockins already this evening. It's really, really out of order.
Oh, darling, don't take that shit.
Z's pissed off. Ava's pissed off. Like, don't even talk to the blind fella. It's not worth it. And these visitors are apparently pissed off.
I will put my hands on Mimi's shoulders. And I will
she is
say,
starting to freak out a little bit.
And, well, simulate breathing. Don't actually breathe. You don't need to. But breathe. This is not your fault.
Right. I don't need to breathe. No, I'm supposed to be the herald, but I am well out of my depth here. Like Ava's been saying that Croydon's overstretched itself anyway, that we've got too many kindred here for the size, like we're already drawing attention. And now this. I don't want this job anymore. I just want to go and perform at the club and be done with it, and let's just call it a day.
You are fabulous at this job, and there is nobody else that could do it. Don't say that. Now, do your job well. Don't show them what's on the inside. And remember how they spoke to you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the information, love.
Pleasure. Just look after yourselves.
And she turns and just walks off. You see her sort of regain the composure. When she walked up, she looked so graceful and calm, and then it was just like this outburst of panic, and then you just see like the composure goes back on and just waltzes back over. There's no doubt some vampires have probably heard it. As this all occurs, you do see the door from the next room open, and you see a number of people walk in. The first person that you see is young girl, probably about 20, bright red hair, probably dyed, wearing green shorts and a red shirt, like really dainty, like 5'1", if that. And next to her is this huge white wolf, no other way of putting it, just very out of place in the centre of London. Just walking alongside her, it's probably up past her waist. It is massive. They walk in, and shortly after you see another fella. He's probably about 5'10", not particularly tall. He's dressed in a suit that looks out of date. It probably bought in the 1930s. Has clearly been looked after. The tie is massively out of date. He's wearing huge glasses, which, although they look like they're out of Harry Potter, probably bought long before then. You wonder if he's actually wearing them for effect. He's got a very trimmed beard and moustache, and he has got face like thunder, and he walks in behind. You see on his arm another young lady. She's she's got black hair, very, very pale skin, although vampires generally do. Very pale skin, and she is wearing a long black dress, and again just has this very condescending, serious look on her face.
Matt, given my fact I travel around a lot in my profession, would I at least recognise who any of these people are?
You might have. So you would recognise the man with the beard and the glasses as Sebastian Markov, who is the Prince of Warwickshire. He calls himself the Prince of Warwickshire, but it's more like Birmingham, Warwickshire, Coventry, just because of the size of the area. You would know he's a Tremere. You would know that he is relatively old, but not particularly old, and that he's been in power for a good 20 years. You've probably met him, because if you've been to his domain, you would have to present yourself. You've never had any issues with him. He's always seemed firm but fair, as a lot of princes are.
I shall sort of whisper under my breath to Gerard. It's Prince Markov. Does not look happy. Maybe keep quiet.
Nobody ever fucking does in this place.
Can I hear the whispering and sidle over and say, who is it?
Prince Markov. He's a Prince of Warwickshire. Very important, very powerful.
Interesting, and he does not look happy.
No, he does not. Well, I know people who pay a pretty penny to understand what was going on tonight. We're in for a treat.
Or the opposite.
So there are, again, it's this room just full of street art. All the walls are coloured. It's quite pretty, but you do see the Tremere prince and the dark-haired lady with him just kind of look at it disdainfully and look a bit disgusted. Clearly not their idea of art. The young girl with the red hair stands one side of him, and the wolf goes and stands the other. He looks at Z impatiently. Are we ready, Z? I think I've waited long enough. And Z looks a bit pissed off. Although Z looks young, Z isn't young, and it's clearly riled them that this has happened, and Z will just step forward and say,
Prince Markov, firstly, my apologies for the incident that has occurred. I will deal with it, we will deal with it, and everything will be made right. I can assure you, if anyone from this domain or nearby has been involved, we will deal with them with the full brunt of the law. If it's acceptable, I will brief the kindred of Croydon, and we'll deal with this matter. We'll get it dealt with.
And Z will turn to you all.
I'm sure you all know the Rosewood. Well, not all of you, but some of you probably can afford to stay there. The Rosewood is the hotel owned by the Seneschal. Ava.
You see the lady with the blue suit and the long blonde hair just nod.
Prince Markov and myself have made a deal for the security of both of our domains, and that deal the exchange was due to happen at the Rosewood last night. Someone has, there's no other way of saying it, someone has killed the kindred in the grounds of the Rosewood. They have killed a mortal in the grounds of the Rosewood, and they have stolen the item that I was exchanging with Prince Markov. Firstly, I would ask, does anyone know who has done this?
Matt, can I survey the room for anyone who might look a bit uneasy?
Yeah, sure. Roll. I'll let you choose, really. If you think either probably awareness plus wits, or I'm okay.
No.
Madame, you're looking around the room. You really want to see some sign that someone is guilty. You want to see that little twitch or that little tell that says they know something, and you see nothing. And the beast is furious at that, and it has a little outburst. kind of pushes forward. You feel your temper going, but it's not you, it's the beast.
Is it just quiet for a moment?
Yeah. There's just silence.
Someone in this room must know something.
And as you say that, it's involuntary, but you just feel your fangs bare and your lips draw back and you hiss. And it was not intentional, but the beast came through. Everyone turns and looks at you.
Calm yourself, dear. We'll find out who did it.
Kindred is dead.
We'll find out who.
The kindred, Prince Markov will just butt in. The kindred that is dead was one of mine, a Tremere. Whoever did it staked them in the back and beheaded them.
Coward.
Coward indeed. And I would have them found and punished. And I want what's mine. The deal was made. I gave my part across. Croydon has been safe, in no small part because of me. I survived Vienna. I survived the fall of London. I will not be made fools of by your ridiculous excuse for a domain. He's not really talking to anyone. He's just ranting to himself, really.
Excuse me, Prince, but this item is missing. What is it?
Respect. I don't know who you are, but it's none of your business.
I have ways of finding information. If you were to tell me what we're looking for, perhaps I can help. This is not my domain, but I pass through from time to time as I do yours. And I'd be happy to help.
We can talk after, not in front of all of these. What's your name?
Barnabas, Prince.
Barnabas. Okay.
We've met before, but I don't blame you for not remembering.
You look familiar, but...
I try not to be too familiar. This is my friend, Gerard.
Pleasure, I suppose.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Princey, what do you intend to do about this? Z looks a little bit lost for a second, but...
We will put some people together, we will get a coterie on this, and we'll recover the item. Everything will be made right. I'm sure we will find the perpetrators and have them punished. I will see to it myself, or if you wish, we'll have them delivered to you. Do I have any volunteers?
My prince. I know.
Madame.
I know Croydon better than anyone.
Okay, Madame. Well,
I'll flush
I
him out.
appreciate your offer. I accept, darling. You are... I appreciate it. And who will you take?
With that, Hero will have just kind of appeared next to Madame, and he'll be kind of like rocking on his feet and just be like, "This sounds quite interesting. Madame, if you would have me."
Of course.
And then, if I can, I would like to catch the eye of the petite redhead and wink at her.
Turns her head and looks at you and gives you a little smile, a little confused smile. You see the wolf, its lips go back, and you see it growl and snarl.
With that, Hero's just going to like properly grin. And like he's not he's not bad looking, but he's not very, very attractive. He's not like Madame kind of standard. But when he smiles, like those who are looking at him kind of get it. So he just full on grins at her, and then he goes back to admiring Madame.
Okay. Good.
Oops.
Gerard, are you stoned again?
Maybe.
When is he not?
Madame, could you take him with you, please, darling? I don't want to look at his face anymore.
Well, that's rather uncalled for.
Yes,
No, it's not your looks. It's just that vacant expression.
And a
It's
smell.
fine.
Sober him up, or cold
I
turkey,
will-
or whatever it is he needs. Just sort it.
I will do a quick bow and put my arm around Gerard to turn him round if I can, so he's not facing the prince.
As I said before, this is not my realm, but I know that I pass through from time to time, and you're kind enough to offer me sanctuary. So I would like to offer my services for a fee, discounted, of course.
A fee, a boon.
A boon,
You want a boon?
indeed.
If you find the murderer, if you recover, we'll go and speak. If you recover the thing that was stolen, I'm sure I will offer you all a boon. And maybe
Z turns and starts to look at Prince Markov, and then you think perhaps they were going to say, and maybe Prince Markov will as well, but then thinks better of it and doesn't say anything.
and Prince Markov will be very pleased, I'm sure, to receive the payment that is due from our domain. I assure you it's key to the security and the continued... Well, we're not scrutinised by the hunt, are we? So please, if you would all come back, we can discuss further.
Be my pleasure then.
You'll see the four figures, Markov and his entourage, and you'll see Z, Ava, will start walking to a back room, and Z will just turn to everyone else.
So please enjoy the art. Yes, carry on discussions. Don't mind us. We'll be back later.
And you go through to another room. This room as well is just, this one's quite run down and tatty. And there's a bunch of seats. You'll sit down. You'll be asked to sit. And Markov will stay standing and look. I'm sure you've noticed that you have escaped the eyes of the hunters. That was my doing. We have an agreement. We have an alliance. We have a contract. But Croydon has failed to deliver its part of the contract. It is an artifact. Looks very much like a finger bone, but plated in silver. I very much need it for the security of my domain. So if you wish for the security of your rather strange domain to continue, then I would appreciate its delivery. We were staying at the Rosewood. I believe it is a Kindred-owned hotel. We were told it was very exclusive, very secure. Around 10:30 last night, a room has been breached, a Kindred has been staked and beheaded, and a mortal that discovered them has been murdered.
Nothing is more important than the protection of our domain. Croydon will uphold its end of the bargain. We will happily look into this. Is Ava in the room?
Yeah.
Ava, can you show us?
Yeah, you can have full access to the hotel. I'll phone ahead and tell them to let you through. You can investigate. We've had a lot, but the room is absolutely full of blood. It's absolutely horrendous.
Don't go in there if you're hungry. That's all I'm saying.
Understood. Who else outside of this room would have known about this deal? This exchange?
Who are you asking?
The room in general, but I will address my questions primarily to Z.
The people that knew about it are here. Obviously excluding yourselves, I hope.
Is the fabulous lady Mimi in the room with us as well?
No.
And no one in this room, I trust, has told anyone outside of the room.
No.
It was opportunistic then.
It seems that way.
How
It seems that way.
how did this? If you don't mind me asking, Z, but how did this artifact arrive in Croydon?
Well, the artifact was in our care, ready to hand over to the prince. It was stolen before the exchange.
Been here for, has it been here for a while, or has it recently entered Croydon?
It's been in Croydon a few days. I have contacts. I knew that Prince Markov was looking for this to deal with their lupine. Sorry, Prince, I know you probably don't want to share that, but...
No, it's fine, it's fine. Everyone knows Warwickshire has a lupine problem. We have trouble with werewolves. This artifact is very key in us dealing with them. It can, in effect, force a shape changer to revert back to its natural form. It can change a werewolf from Krynos form back into a mere human being. I believe it also works on Gangrel. And maybe Nosferatu. But I need it for lupines, I assure you.
How would it work against Nosferatu?
If you use the abilities that allow you to shape change, then yes, it would. I didn't realize you were awake.
I didn't know
Welcome
I
to the
could do that.
conversation.
Oh, no, wait. Yeah, I did. Never mind.
He is quite a stoner, isn't he?
I assure you, the vacant expression hides a singular mind, and he's relatively sober.
Let's be frank, Prince C. You signed a blood contract, failed to deliver your half. You have 2 days. Then you're in breach. And I actually don't know what's going to happen to you. So I suggest, my friends, that you start your investigation very quickly and get the finger bone back to us. I can wait at the Rosewood, or I can return to Warwickshire. I don't care. I just need it. And if you don't return it within 2 days, well, the repercussions are your own to deal with, Z, and my support for Croydon is removed, and you can deal with the rest of London that already look at you with envious eyes. So, simple as that.
As I said, Croydon will uphold its end of the bargain. Don't worry about that.
Right, well, I'll be at the Rosewood for the rest of this evening. We will return home tomorrow when the contract expires. I'll await news. Prince Z. And he just turns and walks off. The redhead and the wolf and the dark-haired woman follow.
When they're
You realise he didn't even bother to introduce them to you.
as soon as they've left, though. So, Prince C, I'm asking again. This artifact has been in your possession for the last few days, but how did it get here? Whom your contacts delivered it? You said that they knew it was here in this room, but that's not the truth. The people that delivered it here also know.
I've had this thing for years, Barnabas.
Not a few days then. That's fine.
It's a little lie.
Very well.
But I admit, I've only spoken about this thing recently.
You'll see Ava, long blonde hair, these kind of strangely piercing eyes in the suit.
Dude, I told you not to sign that bloody thing. You never listen to me, do you? You're an impulsive person, Z. Look, you've jeopardized your whole domain for this whatever deal you've made for it, and you won't even tell me what it was for. I don't think it's any of your business. Clearly, it's better if I keep everything to my chest, isn't it?
Fighting with each other ain't gonna find the thing. We need to use our time more effectively. We only have 2 days.
I'll phone ahead and tell them you're on your way and to give you access. You know Annalise, don't you? She's on security still, so she can show you around, show you the scene. We need you to be quick, because obviously we need to do cleanup. We can't get the police involved for obvious reasons. It just needs... I need it to be kept on the quiet, and I need you to in and out quick as you can, please.
Can I stand to the side of the prince so that I'm only within their earshot and ask, do we have any lupines in our domain?
They don't like the cities, generally. I'm no expert, but not a lot, no.
Ava says to you.
Well, to be honest, darling, I've never seen a werewolf in all my years. I've heard stories of them. That's why I thought it was the right time to trade this thing. It's useless.
Any
I don't even know if it works. Well, yes, it does work on the gangrel, but who is there here? Sarah? She's quite loyal, I think. I hope.
Does it hurt at all when it does whatever it does?
I've never used it. It's as far as I'm concerned, it looks like a piece of bone that's been plated in silver. It's an urban myth. I think it's called St. Osbur's finger or something. Some saint that passed through Warwickshire. I think it's all just blag and bluster. I don't think it does anything. But if he wants it and is willing to pay what he was willing to pay for it, then so be it.
Is there anyone in the domain that may know more about it, even if they don't know it's here?
It's from Warwickshire, so all I know is there was a saint called St. Osber, passed through Coventry and I don't know where he was buried, but yeah, the bone is some sort of artifact revered by the Tremere. They wish to get hold of it.
If we need to, we can always speak to Prince Markov, or I would rather not if we can talk to that redhead. Who is she?
I think her name's Ellie. I'm not sure I've got a number, but they'll be at the Rosewood, so yes, you could speak to them. I think Hero wants to speak to the redhead too.
I would be more than happy to help with that.
Oh,
Might be able to find someone who could probably track one of their numbers down, maybe.
I will turn to the group and say, Sarah's the only gangrel in Croydon. They might have an interest in it. I don't know him very well. Do any of you?
Yeah, she's like a lot of gangrel, and you think she's gangrel. They're not very fond of the city anyway, so they tend to keep themselves to themselves. But when called upon, when there's a security risk, she does turn up, generally.
Well, why don't we head to the hotel so that we can find out what we can there and let Ava do the cleanup, and then we can always go and talk to this Sarah and see if she knows anything.
We appreciate it, all of you. As I say, I will owe you a boon if you help this, and obviously I will recognise you for future positions in Croydon, but let's be frank, if you don't recover this item, there may be no Croydon. Prince Markov has given us protection. Some sort of ritual I don't understand, but that's why we've escaped the Inquisition this far. There is no way to say it. We should at most support 4 or 5 kindred, and there is close to 20 here now. Without this enchantment, it'll be obvious. And I think we'll need to move.
I understand the importance of the task at hand, my prince.
Well, you have my number. Well, you don't actually. Has anyone got a phone?
Hero will.
Oh,
Like the old Nokia one. Sorry,
I'd say,
Hazel.
I'd say Hero's probably the most techie.
Yeah, it's a more modern phone, like an actual
Yeah.
smartphone.
Yeah.
Probably one of those
It'll be-
folding ones where the screen folds.
Yes. I want it to be
Yeah.
a Samsung Z.
And hands it over. You hand it over to the print.
Prince. They put their number in.
Nice phone, Hero.
I hand my phone to Hero and say put it in there too.
I'll just send her the contact.
It's an old Nokia, like brick. You know, it's 5-day battery life, but you can play Snake and you can make phone calls, and that's about it.
Oh, at some point, Hero's going to borrow that phone to play Snake. Then.
Wouldn't mind the number either if it's no bother.
Hero just kind of looks at Gerard. I don't think they've had much to do with each other. They definitely move in different circles. And then I think he's probably going to take a step back and stand behind Madam.
He's a strange fellow. All right, well,
Thank you. Keep me informed. Keep Ava and I informed. The moment you have any news, please tell us. If we need to move on anyone, please tell us. If just keep us updated at all times. Thank you.
Okay, well, shall we get a move on?
Yes, we better get going. It's
Yes.
a long walk, even underground, I imagine.
I don't want to leave Yavir looking after my home any longer than we need to.
Well, Madame, your steed awaits, and Reggie Dwight, Hammer Horror. Can't believe I'm saying this, but do you want a lift?
A what?
Okay.
Be very
So-
grateful, Emperor Yamamoto. Just
Vincent Price, you've seen like vehicles having. Do you understand combustion engines?
Yes, I've seen cars.
Okay, well, you get a lift in a car. Like, that's not that big a jump.
we have. That's fortunate.
I don't understand why they call lifts, but I'd appreciate the transport, yes.
Quite a lot of different forms of transport use the word lift because it takes you from one place, transports you in there, and then drops you off somewhere else. It's not worth it.
Always time is pressing.
Yes, let's get on. Let's get going.
Well, I'll meet you out front in a moment, and with that, Hero will kind of run off to get the car so he can pull up in front to allow Madam in because he doesn't want her walking in the rain.
okay. He's such a gentleman.
He's just
Yeah,
trying to get
you
on
pull the car
side.
up front. The three of you step out.
Before the guys get in the car, the Hero will kind of figure out which side of the car they're aiming for, and then he will put a blanket over whichever seat Gerard's gonna end up in. But he will hold the door for him.
That's rather kind, all things considering. Thank you.
You are just very dusty. And there's
I-
something stuck to the back of your leg that seems to be seeping.
Might be a dead rat.
Do
Rosewood.
you like me to take you?
Rosewood.
Okay, you Google in your phone Rosewood. You see that it is a very high-end hotel. Probably £600 a night to stay in this place. It is seriously high-end. But it's not too far a drive. And you head your way over. Probably about 20-minute drive. No real issues. Yeah, you pull up outside. It is absolutely immaculate. Go into the reception and you see a rather old, grey-haired lady with little glasses on the end of her nose, and she sort of glances up at you. Gerard, are you just going in the front door, or?
Suppose I won't be able to, will I?
I don't know. How are you going in?
Well, I assume front of house would have multiple people in it. So I'll probably have to ask to be dropped off a short distance and duck into an alley. Try and find a route into one of the basements.
We
You
could
head.
just ask Annalise to let us in.
We
Do
just
we not?
let's walk up to the desk. They're expecting us. Ask where the fire escape is, and we'll let him in there.
Sounds like a plan.
I do that.
It's certainly nicer than I stayed last night.
You walk up to the receptionist. She's got grey hair. Hair is very tight button. Very sort of severe looking lady, and she almost looks down her nose at you a little bit. You don't recognise her. Do you have reservations?
Eva called ahead.
Oh, Madame, I'm very welcome to the Rosewood. Very pleased to have you here. What can we do for you?
We need access to a certain room, but before that, we need access via a more private entrance. Where's the nearest fire escape?
The delivery entrance at the rear. We could use that. I'm sure it would be fine. Do you want me to call Annalise? She can show you around.
Very good.
Okay, give me one moment. She dials a phone. Yes, Annalise, there are 3 people here to see you. I think they wish to meet you at the delivery entrance. So if you could meet them there, that would be wonderful. Okay, thank you. All right, see you in a moment.
While she's on the phone, Hero will kind of lean over to Barnabas and just be like, "Told you we could have called Annalise. I did say."
You need to assert yourself, young man.
And I was just like, "I just did. I tried."
You'll hear a voice from outside at the front going, "Oi, oi, oi." And you see the lady at reception roll her eyes. And as you turn, you see this woman. She's probably about 5'10", quite tall, slender, wearing not very fancy clothes. She's kind of got bike leathers on, bare stomach, leather trousers. She is not dressed as if she's at work. She just beckons for you to come out and starts to show you to the rear. All right.
You look good, Annalise.
Yeah, thanks. You don't look so bad yourself. Who's this then? This fella's in a band. I've seen your music. It's shit. But, you're enthusiastic.
Haircut, but, we can't have everything, can we?
No, you seem to enjoy it. That's what matters, isn't it, mate? You do it enthusiastically. Don't you find that's the kind of thing, it's like once you're dead, you kind of, that creative spark, it's kind of gone, isn't it? And it shows in your music, if I'm honest. No offense, just some honest feedback. Where do you need?
And this is Barnabas, and we need to let our Nosferatu friend in.
Nosferatu. Personally, I suspect Nosferatu is what's causing this whole problem. Someone got in, they weren't seen, stole something, killed someone, got out. I personally think Nosferatu. But yeah, it's this way.
Cool judgment to make. It's not the most creative way of thinking. Maybe you need to step out the box a little bit.
Oh, you're so bitter about that feedback, aren't you? Come on, it's this way.
I'm just bitter about such judgment from such a basic bitch.
Rude. I like it.
Did that feel like banter, or did that look like it cut Hero?
It cut Hero, but he is enjoying the fact that he gets to, prat about.
And I walk in step with Annalise, and again, quietly, so that only she can hear, say, when you are dead, Annalise, you find that friendships become more important than ever.
No offense, but I'm not. If I'm going to be friends with someone in a band, it's going to be someone that plays music that I like.
It doesn't take much to pretend that you like it, because you never know when you might need another kindred's help. And that is advice I am giving you. Please take it.
I've seen him play, and he's got an ego as big as a barge. Can't be doing with it. You know, I only care about one person. It's my sister. But whoever this bastard was, the worst thing is they nicked my fucking bike.
Could Hero overhear when she said that he's got an ego as big as a barge? With that, he'll be like, I've got something else as big as a barge as well. Do you want to say?
She'll just look at you, look you up and down, and go, "Yeah, whatever." I don't want to see. No.
There are
Right,
rooms for that.
And while the hero says that, Barnabas is also looking up and down with one eyebrow raised.
With that, if Hero spots Barnabas looking him up and down, he'll wink at him as well.
Okay. Look, what do you want access to?
Have we
Room,
let first off?
security.
Have we let Gerard in?
You would probably be walking along, and Gerard probably is completely unseen. It's up to Gerard whether he talks to you or not. If he's
Okay,
not
but
moving,
we've let
you
him in.
can't
We've
see
let him in. Okay. Yeah. Let's see the room first.
Okay. No one's hungry, are they?
Rather hungry, personally.
It's a proper red mess in there. Just to warn you. It's everywhere.
Are
They
there
stake this
any? Sorry. Go on.
Well, they stake this vampire, cut his head off. Yeah, not so much blood from that, but then a cleaner came in. It's a kindred room, so it gets cleaned, at night. Yeah, whoever it was, fed, and they did it fast, and they made a mess. A big mess.
Are there any kine on this floor?
Not now, no.
Good. You're not angry, are you, Annalise?
No.
Good.
Already fed. And she'll, you see it's a door with like a key card, and she will take one off. She'll get one off her belt, little electronic card, and just slide in the door. The light goes green, and she opens it. You hear it kind of clunk, 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 as if it's got several deadlocks, so quite secure. And then she will open it, and then you just see it. You see this. The first thing you see is just this cleaning woman just on the floor. She's completely pale and white, a bit like me, I guess. Just lying limp. You can see on the trolley there's an iPhone, and it's still got Netflix playing on it. Some sort of program. They've just not touched it. So that's how quickly it happened. And then sat on the bed is this corpse with no head, which has just fallen off. And then in a waste paper basket is this very handsome black guy with wearing sunglasses still. Just in the waste basket is his head. And the blood from this cleaner is it's up the walls, it's all over the floor. The carpet's got a huge wet, starting to dry now, but a huge patch of blood.
How does the cleaner look like? Do they also have their head missing? Or?
No, she's intact, but her throat is you can just see this huge gash. Normally when a kindred feed, they can lick the wound and seal it, but whoever this was just clearly just intended to kill them.
One gash or several gashes?
It's like someone has just bit them once.
Yeah, okay. Can I go and look at the wound on the kindred's neck? See if I can figure out how it was made. What made the wound?
Sure. Yeah, roll medicine plus
investigation.
Yeah, I'll allow you to roll investigation.
Give me a moment, or Gerard has to get his eyes on.
You look at the wound, and you roll this kindred's body over, and you can see that they have a stake in their back, but it's been pushed through with such force that it has clearly gone through and pierced their heart. Stake in the heart for a vampire won't kill them, but it will paralyze them. So whoever has done this has caught them unaware in their own room, staked them, and then you don't know what they've cut their head off with, but maybe an axe or something of that ilk, something
It
pretty
was
heavy
an
that has
implement,
literally
not,
his head has flown into the waste paper bin.
It was definitely a tool, not claws or anything like that. Tore his head off. That's what I was sort of looking for. Here.
Definitely a tool, yeah.
Annalise is the only entrance.
Yeah. Keycards are secure. They're all kept in a safe. Any keys that aren't in use are deprogrammed. I mean, whoever got in here either had one of these, she shows you the master key, or they stole something from the key safe, or I don't know, or from someone. But everyone seemed to have their keys for this room. This was Z booked this room, or Eva did. The key card's still in the pocket of this guy, so I
Do they
don't.
have cameras in this hotel?
Well, that's the weird thing. I can take you to security, but the cameras glitched about 10 past 10 and came back on about 10:30. The only bit of footage I've got is of the bastard stealing my bike about 10:20, I think, and it's just someone in a hoodie nicking my bike. I mean, the keys were in the key safe, so I don't know how they even got the keys, but they nicked my bike, the bastards. I mean, you're welcome to look at the security cameras, but I mean, I'll be frank with you. Don't tell Eva, because she'll hit the fucking roof. But I got a phone call about 10 past 10, said that my sister was in hospital and I needed to go. So I was freaking out. I was trying to ring her. I couldn't get through. I did leave the security office. I wasn't watching the cameras. I didn't see them go off because I wasn't there. And I finally got through to her. She was fine, so it was bullshit. And I headed back, and that was when I saw the cameras were glitching, and I thought something was up. So I called security and got it all, moving. But it was too late. I mean, we didn't discover that body until a few hours later. But I knew my bike had gone. I can only assume whoever it was the same person.
I'd like
Why
to
not
see
me?
this footage of your bike being stolen. Then it's at least a lead. It's convenient, isn't it? Even if it isn't the same person.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
I have a little question for you as well.
He's awake.
I've been listening the entire time, thank you. But just as a little precautionary question, how many people are aware of your connection to your sister? That would likely get you out of the building.
I mean, let's be honest. Oh, it's a good question. What's your name? Gerald? Gerard. It's a good question, Gerard. I mean, Z knows, Ava knows. Let's face it, anyone does a bit of research will find out I've got a sister. I don't think it's that hard. But she's mortal, so.
Gerard, you're good at techie things. Do you think you can work out who called her from if you take a look at the phone?
I can probably ask around, yes.
Annalise, we won't tell Eva, but we're going to need your phone.
Okay. But what, just for a bit? Because if Loretta calls me, I need to know.
I only need the number, really, I suppose.
Okay, all right. She hands it over.
So I'll take the phone number and I'll try and do a couple of searches on a few of the areas I have access to. Ask around in the little Telegram networks I have. Not the doop doop telegram like I thought it was initially.
He thought, he thought it was telegrams, as in like Morse code. I was like, no, the app Telegram.
Nobody ever talks about Telegram anymore. I forgot it existed. But yes, I'll have a look around to see if I can track down where the number came from or where it's been pinged recently, or
Okay.
if any other Nosferatu on the Telegram networks know about it. We'll find anything else
Okay.
useful.
So roll me a you can roll technology plus intelligence, I would say.
Okay. Oh no.
Okay. No, it's fine. It's a bit of a messy critical, but it's...
Why did that roll as Ava? That's not right.
No, it didn't. It rolled as Gerard.
Oh, it didn't come up for me.
Yeah, that's a success. So you needed 2 successes. You do a bit of digging around, and you find that the phone number that called her was a pay-as-you-go SIM. Didn't seem to have been in use very long. People do a bit of research for you. So you think whoever it was probably bought it and used it, but it does look like the call was made from outside Croydon.
I can relay that information. It looked like it might have been an intentional burner phone on someone's using with pay-as-you-go, and they weren't even within the boundaries of Croydon when they made the phone call.
Do we call the number and see if anyone answers?
I doubt anybody will, but you can give it a try.
I don't think we should, not yet. We should get all the information first. Let's have a look at this security footage. Check this room one last time.
Okay. But Hero will still take down the number of the burner phone, and also he'll take down Annalise's number.
Okay.
She's going to get some
constantly on the prowl.
really... Oh, no. She's going to get some really awkward prank calls.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
He's
yeah,
not trying to pull her.
He's not going to try and pull her out.
No.
Okay. Yeah, no worries.
I'm giving you this number, and does this mean I get the number of Prince Zizi, or whoever it was we were talking to earlier?
Any further checks you want to do in here? Sorry.
I want to have a proper look around the room, see if I can see any other clues, anything out of place, any prints or marks on the floor in the blood or anything like that.
I'd also like to have a look for any hidden nooks or crannies where something might have rolled off and out of view,
Okay.
been discarded.
Hidden.
Sure. Well, depending on what you want to do, will depend on what I want you to roll. So if you're just looking around, roll investigation plus intelligence. If you're just searching the room, I mean, what are you searching? Are you searching? Where are you searching? Are you searching the bodies? Are you searching
Around the
room?
body, around the floors where the blood is, because any marks in the blood, like that might give footprints or handprints or anything that looks disturbed, any drawers that look disturbed or anything like this. You're using investigation to try and find whatever.
Investigation plus intelligence, then, please.
And
If
I'm
you're searching.
largely doing the same, like checking into furniture and behind drawers and
Okay.
looking
Likewise,
in-
if anyone,
Carry on.
if anyone wants to just be looking around, then that would probably be awareness plus wits or awareness plus intelligence.
Oh dear.
Is it when I would want to look for belongings on the bodies? Is that awareness plus wits? Or
If you're just well, I mean, you could do investigation, or I'll let you do awareness plus wits if you're just trying to figure out what's happened rather than
no, I
looking
want
for clues.
stuff. I want to know these people, if they've had contact with anyone, if they have mobile phones. So
So Gerard is searching around, and he's trying to find some clues, and he's just coming up blank. And the beast is getting impatient. It's getting so impatient. It's getting really annoyed. There's blood everywhere, and you're scrabbling around looking for clues. So Gerard, unfortunately, your bane kicks in, but for now you are just compelled to try and get some blood from this scene, even though it's
Licking
old.
the
and-
walls.
Yeah.
In the carpet.
They try and drink from the wrist of the corpse and see if any of that is too coagulated to.
It's vile. It's absolutely vile. Yeah.
You're talking
would
to a
just-
man what drinks from rats.
Yeah, it's pretty coagulated and horrible. But yeah, it's disgusting to watch him. He's like an animal, just trying to suck this coagulated blood out. Barnabas, you're looking around, and yeah, you can see whoever this is had quite big feet, probably a size 12. You can also see some. So there's footprints. This person is clearly quite big and heavy, and there's a potted plant. You can see that they were stood behind this potted plant for quite a while, and then seem to have came out when the person entered the room and staked them. And then you can see the footprints through the blood. Well, the footprints go in the blood to the waste bin, which suggests that they put the head in the bin and then have left the room. And as you lift the head up, there is nothing in the bin underneath it except a little yellow piece of paper.
What does the paper say?
I shall show you.
This is the clue he made. Yeah, Matt's proud of this, and it does look good.
It is a ticket to some kind of concert for tonight, no less. It's absolutely, there's a little bit of a blood splat on it, but mostly it's just covered in doodles and strange scribblings.
What's it say? In detail.
Well, the band is, it's called The Book of Secrets plus guests.
So I guess I would be asking Barnabas?
Yeah, well, I'm just going to tell you the high level, and then the rest you need to figure for yourself. But the ticket is for a band called The Book of Secrets with guests. It's at Coventry Cathedral, 9 o'clock to 1 a.m. on the 31st of October 2022, which is today.
Have I heard of a band called the Book of Secrets?
Yeah, they're kind of an alternative metal band. They're pretty good. They're not big, but they're pretty good.
What do all the scribbles say? It's got handwriting on it. I can't make it out.
If you click on it, it should enlarge further.
No. It's my thing.
Mm.
Show it again, sorry, Matt.
It says one thing says Rosewood, room 501, 1010. Triumph Scrambler, L200.
Okay, that's is that your bike?
Yeah, there's my bike.
Well, they clearly meant to steal it.
How did they even know?
Key safe. Is there a safe in this room?
Not in here, no. The key safe's where I keep my keys
Well, I know
for
about
the
that.
bike.
Huh. What's this 312 along the side? Is that a combination for the safe? Or
To ask.
There's 745.
Yeah, 745. That's the first three digits of the. It's 7452C. So this bastard knew how to steal my bike. That means they knew how to get a key.
how and when? What's this here? Sun veal foil?
Don't know what that is.
Well, this is a little more organised than this answers that question at least. This wasn't an opportunity. This was planned. Can I sniff the blood and then sniff the blood on the floor and see if it's the same blood?
Yeah, it is the same blood. Eva's gonna kill me. Like, literally kill me.
I don't know.
She's
This
she's
is
gonna think I gave the code away.
who else knew about the code?
Agatha on reception knows about it. Eva knows about it. Me, maybe one other, but
It's important. What other?
well, just James, security bloke. He's sound. I vouch for him.
These are kindred.
Well, James and Agatha are ghouls. That's why I vouch for them. They're loyal, enforced loyal, if you know what I mean.
Evas.
Yeah. They couldn't betray us if they wanted. Oh, look, I'd appreciate it if you didn't share this with Eva. I'll owe you.
There's no point.
We don't need to tell her as long as we find what she needs.
So someone had the code for the safe. They knew what room it was in. I mean, what else is on there?
Finger bone. And a
Don't
werewolf
make
with
any
a moon.
sense. What?
And a pineapple.
Matt, do any of the symbols drawn on there mean anything to us in terms of things we would know about the masquerade and different clans and things like that?
Well, I do hate to admit it, but the little figure by the little drawing of a cathedral does look a little bit like a Nosferatu in a jester's hat.
Looks
Oh,
like
Joe.
Christmases ago, my old friend.
Annalise leans over and looks. Yeah, either that or it's a Christmas elf, yeah.
So there was a phone playing Netflix.
Yeah, it's literally sat on the trolley with all the towels which are blood covered in blood and the spare loo rolls covered in blood. Phone has
What
got
were they
blood
watching?
on it. Well, it just says, "Are you still watching? Yes or no?"
I'll point at it and say to whoever's nearest. Will they show us what they were watching? You never know.
Press
Um,
yes, dear heart.
You try and
Hero.
press it, but Hero. Okay, Hero can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you press it. Sorry, undead fingers can't use touchscreens usually. So you have to be closer to higher generation to do it. Yeah, you press it, and it's some sort of documentary about fungus and the medical qualities of fungus.
Trolling us, Matt.
Very disturbed individual.
Don't know if there's anything on there that would remind you of clans, unless you can see anything.
I wasn't sure about the wolf symbol and
It's not. Yeah, that's not a symbol. No, not a clan symbol that you know of.
there's a swirly thing there too, next to Coventry Cathedral.
It looks like someone's pen was starting to run out, and they've just gone just to get it going again.
Like, it looks like a stylized letter. Oh, but okay, that's
Yeah, it's not.
The school computer makes me think slightly of Nosferatu, I'll admit. But then the spiderwebs and the skulls also can sometimes make me think of people like Tremere. They're very into their
but
occult
then
and
again,
their rituals.
they've drawn a pineapple in the O of book, so I'm wondering whether they've noted some things down and maybe got a little bored and sketched a few other things to be careful how closely we read into things.
Yes.
But clearly, this individual knew what was going down and had some inside information. So perhaps we ought to talk to the receptionist and this James.
Now, I'd also like to ask a question out of character.
Mhm.
Gerard has phone numbers for Barnabas and Madame, don't they?
Mhm.
I'm going to send one of them a text message on the down low whilst we're continuing this. And I'm not going to tell everyone who I'm sending a message to, but I will send it to them through Messenger. I.e., when I text them something.
Okay. Keep the stream guessing.
But carry on. Just ignore me in the corner going...
He's just playing Snake on his phone.
We need to speak to Agatha, we need to speak to James, but we've got Annalise here as well.
Look, I'll give you access to everything you need. Honestly, Agatha and James, they're Gould. They've been fed blood recently. I don't see how they could in any way be compromised without us knowing. We can go confront them if you want, but...
Manipulate a Gould as well as you can a kind. Have you seen anything suspicious in the past few days? It's your job, right? Anyone potentially casing the joint? Anyone speaking to Agatha or James?
Any odd guests?
Well, other than the Warwickshire lot, there was that Tremere fella. Dour and serious for my liking. He had two other, I think they were Tremere because they're all creepy and shit, aren't they? There was two of them, but I think like they were sisters or something. One of them got killed, apparently on site as well.
Another murder?
And then,
where?
Well, apparently the sister was in their room. She got killed at the same time. So it's a proper mess. I don't know what's going on.
We should go and ask. I mean, this ticket is for it's someone that's followed. This ticket is at Coventry. It's in the domain of Prince Markov. So whatever trouble has come down here and done this has come from there, at least in some form.
What you reckon? It's an inside job?
It's starting to look that way.
I have my suspicions too.
Either there's an inside job in the Midlands, or someone's trying to fit up Z.
Or there's still the possibility a gang rule like Sarah or someone with interest in the item that has nothing to do with either parties involved.
Perhaps someone who's hoping to utilize the item to cut a new deal.
Just seems a lot of information on here, doesn't it? So someone's been planning and knew that this deal was going down for a while. Perhaps we should ask Z when they started negotiating. Can someone call Z on one of these phones and ask that question?
Z's a busy person. I would make sure we collate any questions we have to ask them all at the same time rather than be calling them consistently.
Or just send a message or something.
Yeah, go on then, and I'll hand my phone to Barnabas.
What message do you send?
Say, evening, Prince Z. Just a quick question: how long was this deal how long was this deal being planned? When did you start negotiations?
You wait a couple of minutes and you get a text back. It just says the plan's been in place for about 3-4 weeks. I'd have to check the dates, but close to a month. I didn't reveal I had the item until a few days ago, though.
Did you reveal, text back, did you reveal directly to Prince Markov or one of his associates?
It was directly to him via a phone call.
Thank you, Z. Well, it does appear to be well planned. We shall let you know as soon as we have more information.
Don't get a response after that.
I'll relay that back to everyone.
Can we go look at the security footage?
I think we should.
All right, yeah.
I think we
You
should
finished
go.
here. Can we clean up?
I don't see why not.
All right. I'll get James on it. Yeah. Follow me.
After we've looked at the security footage, will you tell us the room that the delegation from Warwickshire are staying? Because I think we need to ought to speak about this other incident.
They're in the penthouse.
Thank you.
You want to go up?
Oh no, after we'll look at the security first.
She will take you to the nearest elevator. You'll go down past the ground floor to the basement. And she will lead you into a very sparsely decorated office with a number of desks with computers on, and then on one wall is just this huge screen, just multiple screens, just showing the car park and the front and the bar and corridors, and pretty much coverage of every part of the outside of the hotel and a few parts of the inside as well. There you go. Pretty extensive. I can rewind it back. As you can see, all working pretty perfectly. I received the phone call, and she'll actually show you her like walking around the perimeter in the car park, sort of doing her rounds as you are, and then you'll see her answer the phone. Her expression will change, and she'll look a little bit panicked for a second, and then she will start running around to the front of the hotel, constantly sort of trying to dial a number on her phone, and she'll probably spend 10 or 15 minutes doing that. Starts about 10 past 10. And then at 10:12, the cameras all start glitching, like every single one of them, just static glitching, pictures not working. At about 10:30, then you will see them come back on, and all you will see is a black Triumph motorcycle with a quite large person riding it with a hoodie and a helmet, and they just out of the car park.
It looks
You
like
can
someone
see
who's
that they've got a
wearing-
rucksack on their back as
Someone
well.
wearing size 12 feet. It looks that sort of size of a person.
Pretty big, yeah.
It does look like him. I'm sorry, what were you? Oh, your sister. Apologise.
Yeah, and she's fine. And to be honest, I'm a bit on edge now. It's like they know about her. This gets back to whoever this was. Maybe they'll do it for real. So please, don't tell Eva. I'll owe you.
Oh,
Even you, mate, with your fancy jacket. Which I actually do quite like, to be fair. That's pretty nice. I'm not flirting with you. You're not my type.
You're not my type either.
Oh, I meant him, but yeah, no, you're not either.
How do I know roughly how long Annalise has been kindred?
She's only been kindred a few years, about 3 years.
So there's a
She was-
chance
she was-
the hero has slept with her.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. And when she worked for you, she was more. But she was a bit of a hothead. She tended to, like, if a customer got mouthy, she tended to beat them, which made it difficult for you. And that's how you ended up with Stu. He's a bit more cool-headed, but probably not as good in a fight as Annalise was. Okay, you want me to take you up to the penthouse?
Yeah. Are they all in the penthouse, or do they have separate rooms?
No, they're just up there at the moment. I think after the events, they wanted a room together.
Safety in numbers, I suppose.
Or just a really fun orgy.
All that, I suppose, yes.
What's with you? You're proper, like...
Oh, he wasn't going to be a sex pest. I don't know where this came from. But you gave me a groupie in the first minute.
Yeah. Yeah, the doors open of this lift, and it's the entire top floor of the hotel. And even more impressively, it's got a glass roof, so you literally have this incredible view of the night sky and the city line. You can see London in the distance. Yeah, it's pretty incredible, and you can see all of the kindred that you met earlier, Prince Markov, the female Tremere, and there are two redheads now. One is the female Ellie that you saw, and the other is a male, slightly similar looking, also wearing red shirt and green shorts, kind of quite like not dressed for the time of year. They're both kind of leaning on a bar nearby, just with just talking. And Prince Markov sees you come in and stands. Well, you've retrieved the finger, I assume. That's why you're here.
We apologise for the interruption, Prince Markov. No, we wish to ask a few more questions to aid our investigations.
Very well.
So we hear there was another murder of another kindred. One of your party, we heard.
Yes, Emily.
This occurred at the same time as the murder downstairs, or at least proximate to it.
Well, as far as I can tell, yes.
Could you?
She was staked and set on fire.
I visibly wince at that. Horrible. Do you know? Was she on her own, or had to return to her room and there was someone lurking? Or can you tell us more of the circumstance?
I wish there was something we could tell. We were preparing to meet with Prince Z. We were having our discussions. We were planning our security. We left Emily alone in the room. Probably about 10 to 10:30. I'm not sure. And the fire alarm went off, and got to the room. She was burning.
Can I look among his coterie and see if there is anyone of the size that matches the description?
So the two redheads are actually quite petite. The girl is probably 5'1", 5'2", quite small, but she's kind of very muscular looking. The guy is probably only 5'6", slightly taller. They're pretty small.
Any sign of the wolf?
Nope.
This is going to be a difficult question to ask, Prince, and I apologise for the implication of it, but we have retrieved some evidence that suggests this was, that doesn't suggest it. It points at this being very well organised, and someone who knew what was happening here. We will ask the same questions of Prince Z, so please do not feel like we're implying anything more than that. But it seems to have been a very large person who would have been, to some extent, aware of what was happening. Is there anyone that matches that description among your inner circle?
I knew of the deal. Emily knew of the deal. Eloise knew of the deal. That is all.
Eloise?
I am very careful with who I share anything with. I'm not a fan of technology. Well, to be frank, I can't use technology. It baffles me. The telephone is about as far as my experience with technology goes, so I avoid it. I'm not going to waste my days learning how to use iPods and laptops or whatever they're called. It's completely pointless. So I do things the old-fashioned way.
I'm very much the same, sir. Eloise, is that your colleague here?
Yes, as you can imagine, it was her sister. She's very upset.
My
She doesn't
contention.
look upset. She's just got that same kind of stern expression that she had earlier. There's definitely not a lot of emotion in it other than disdain.
One last thing, and again, please do not. We're trying to be thorough, Prince, so please not read too much or take offence. But you mentioned a problem you have back in your domain.
Yes.
Is there a particular antagonist that may fit the description that we gave you that may be behind this? Do you suspect anyone?
If you're suggesting it's lupines, then that sounds ridiculous.
Well, I know that it doesn't sound like there's any chance of you've been very circumspect in the way you've dealt with this the happenings here, and I'm imagining from what I know of Z, I imagine that they've done the same. But I'm just we're trying to keep all possible avenues of investigation open right now. So this is one. So forgive the question, but it would be remiss not to ask.
I have no descriptions of this perpetrator. I have no sightings of them. Apparently, the cameras didn't work. Again, proves why people are better than technology. Unless you know something I don't have any leads on this. There would be someone that I would have suspected previously, but they're stored away in deep freeze, so they can't hurt anybody.
Very well. Do anyone else have any questions? Well, to save us bothering the prince again.
This person in deep freeze, may we ask who they are? They might have some contacts working for them.
I've heard about this person on Deep Freeze. I understand they might be in Nosferatu.
And where have you heard this?
Well, I'm in Nosferatu and we talk.
You do talk. Well, if you really knew who this Nosferatu was, if you really knew what was going on, you know that they are too far gone. They've let themselves go to the beast, and they are prone to outbursts, and that's the reason they're in deep freeze. Honestly, they are like a block of ice. They can't hurt anybody. You see him glance at one of the redheads, nod, and you see them walk off and pick up a phone off the side. Start making a call.
Redhead, is it male or female?
The male.
Did Hero notice that, or are they still looking at the female redhead?
Oh, it wasn't subtle. Hero's probably
Oh,
suddenly
yeah,
notices
I've just
the
been
male's gone.
Yeah, I've been staring at them the whole time. With the male not now paying attention to Hero staring at the Ellie, Hero's gonna have some business cards. Can he pass one over to Ellie?
Sure, yeah.
One track mind.
Always trying to network.
Never know when these
She just,
connections can come in handy.
I have one of
Thanks.
those as well, if you please.
Ali gives you hers. When
I
Gerard says,
will-
"Oh, can I have one of those as well?" she just gives you it.
And at that, I will intercept.
Lovely typography.
I've got a different card that I can give to you.
All right, if you must.
What's the
I'll
difference in the cards?
just take this one instead, and I'll hand him a slightly different card with a slightly different topography on it.
Right, thanks a lot.
Sorry, I'm hypnotized by an actual business card.
Are we done then?
Shall we away then?
I have one last question. Sorry, I was caught off guard by the discussion of the fellow on Deep Freeze. Are you aware of anyone who was involved in these discussions between you and Prince C from his side of the table that weren't previously disclosed?
The only people I have dealt with on this is Z and Ava. We did the meetings in person here. In fact, on this very floor. I had some security. They had security, but they were not in the room.
On this very floor. Okay.
Well, at that table there, in fact. That's where we signed the contract.
Thank you very much for answering my questions, as well as everyone else's.
But you see the redhead walk up and just whisper something in the prince's ear. Whatever it was, he doesn't give anything away. You can try it. You can try and read it if you want.
Do you know of a Coventry band called the Book of Secrets or Cutthroat Records record producer?
Do I look like I know such things?
Well, does anyone in the room?
You'll see
That's
Ellie
my
go.
network. Oh, or you can just ask her.
I do. They're all right, yeah. If you like that kind of thing.
Any known kindred or lupine connection?
Oh, they play in the cathedral, I think. That kind of shows how far they've fallen, doesn't it? You'll see Markov go, the cathedral. Well, there are links to your people, Gerard. Coventry Cathedral. There are countless tales of an ancient vampire who dwells beneath the cathedral and such rumours. But I'll be honest, I've searched for the entrance many times and I've never found anything. So I think that's a lie.
But you don't think like Nosferatu do.
Well, your colleague Ron was the last person to claim to know where that was, and he's in my deep freeze, so if I ever thaw him out, I'll ask him, shall I?
Good to. Maybe I'll have a look myself when I'm there. I spent a few hundred years living in the Parisian catacombs. I'm quite used to finding little stashed away passages and the like.
Speaking of Ron, that's not Lord Ronald, is it? Is he still occupying your domain?
Not recently. Why? Do you know him? It's not that Ron. This is foul Ron.
Sounds very different.
Foul old Ron.
Foul old Ron, yes, that is what we call him.
People used to call me Rodent before they started calling me by my name.
Bugger it.
Yeah, bugger it. Yeah.
Probably take a private moment with Annalise in the elevator just to say I won't mention anything to Ava.
Hello?
I understand the concern of having mortal family connections that you're concerned about. So I won't spoil anything on that secret for you.
As you all see, you see Gerard go off and talk to Annalise, and as he's speaking, you all don't hear what he says, but you just see Markov just go as if he heard something, and then he just turns his attention back to you. Again, face gives nothing away.
Finger guns at Ellie and tell her to call him if she gets bored.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. She doesn't look like she will.
No. Now it's just become an amusing little game.
That's the challenge of the hunt, isn't it?
It's more just annoying people.
Here is a predator.
I like how the one person who is actively like, can I have that? You're like, no.
Yeah. We feel like poor Gerard often gets no. You can't. Yeah, well there you go. That I completely mistimed. I had like several bits down for like 30 minutes each that it didn't work. Sorry.
Did we spend 2 hours doing one of them?
Well, it's three. It's 3 acts, and you're kind of near the end of Act 1. So
So it's going to be a free shot.
yeah. Well, I hope that was all right. Yeah, I love the characters. Very surprising how some of them have gone.
I did not plan this, and I am sorry. You didn't mean to
Hero-
be a sex
hero-
pest.
Sex pest.
Yeah, Hero's on the verge of of being one of the people Madam actively targets.
No, but it's always very consensual.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
flirts.
Yeah,
Just
He's
a
an
player.
aggressive flirter, but he just wants to be loved.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
And I just
So
want to be
look-
loved,
Yeah,
but nobody wants to interact with the Nosferatu.
So yes, thank you for watching. Next Monday, 7:15 GMT. I'm gonna say, but we're always ish because it's us. We're quite a neurodiverse bunch, I think. So time is not relative for us. Any final words? Say them now.
Abdicate.
Bye
I
bye.
was going to try and say something hero-esque, but even I feel dirty doing so.
Hope your bear is doing okay.
Well,
Bye.
afternoon probably there. I'm gonna go wash my face and my hair.
I should probably do the same.